Okay, let's look at a few more. On number 17, so when I'm factoring, since that there's three terms and the leading coefficient is 1, I get to use the shortcut method, which involves factoring it into two binomials where my first term will be a. Okay, and now what will my second two terms be in each of these binomials? Well, I have to look at the constant and the coefficient that's in front of the a term. So I need two numbers that multiply together to give me negative 16 and add together to give me positive 6. So since I'm multiplying to get a negative number, I know it's going to be a negative times a positive. Okay, so I could do negative 2 and a positive 8, or a negative 8 and a positive 2. I also could do a negative 4 and a 4. Okay, we can make a list. But of these pairs, which one adds together to get a positive 6? Negative 2 and a positive 8 add together to get positive 6. So I'll write negative 2 and a positive 8. Okay, and so I have factored completely. And I got a minus 2 times a plus 8. Okay, I'm going to do the odd ones here, 19 and 20, and then I'm going to leave 18, 20, and 22 for you. Okay, so on number 19, I have a trinomial. There's three terms, so it's going to factor into two binomials, and since the leading coefficient is 1, I'll get to use the shortcut method, and my first terms will just be y. I need two numbers that multiply together to give me 40 and add together to get me 13. Well, so positive and positive. So things that multiply together to give me 40, 4 times 10. We have 2 times 20. Let's see, we also have 8 times 5. Okay, of these three, which ones add together to get you 13? 8 and 5 add to get 13. I didn't even bother with the negative ones here, negative 4, negative 10, negative 2, negative 20, only because I knew they had to add together to get a positive number. So I kind of thought two steps ahead. So I limited the possibilities that we could have. So I have a positive 8 and a positive 5. Okay. All right, so on 21, since I have a trinomial and the leading coefficient is 1, I get to factor using the shortcut method where the first terms will just be n's. Now I need two numbers that multiply together to give me negative 30 and add together. Ooh, this is an interesting one. What's the coefficient that's in front of my n term? Well, I just see a minus sign, but it means that it's a negative 1. So my coefficient is a negative 1. So my two terms need to add together to get me negative 30 and multiply together to give me negative 1. So I know I'm going to need a negative and a positive. So maybe negative 3 and a positive 10, a negative 6 and a positive 5. You can also do the reverse, negative 10 and 3, negative 5 and 6. There's a few more, but can you find one that's working yet? Yeah, negative 6 and a positive 5. Okay. So make sure you finish 18, 20, and 22. Let's look at a few down here. Now, these are going to be interesting. Remember, our techniques should always start whenever we're factoring, and we will get into the habit of doing this once we start learning some more techniques. But the thing you should always do first is check to see if there's a greatest common factor that can be pulled out of all of the terms. So on 23, I have a trinomial where I have 4k squared plus 12k plus 8. Is there any common factor that I can divide evenly out of all of them? Okay, you have to do it out of all the terms. Yeah, I think I can divide a 4 out of all of them. Okay, it does not have any common variables, so we'll just pull that 4 out. And what we will have left is a k squared plus 3k plus 2. Okay, so now let's go ahead and factor. Since this is a trinomial, we're going to be able to factor it, and the leading coefficient to the k term is just 1. So My 4 will stay out there. And then this guy right here will factor into 2 binomials. Okay, I need 2 numbers that multiply together to give me 2 and add together to give me 3. Well, 2 times 1, right? 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So positive 2, positive 1. And that's your final answer. Okay, I am going to leave 24 for you guys. And 25, let's say. Now I'm going to do 26. So on 26, I have, let's see, I think I have an A in every single term, but I also can divide out a 3. So I can divide a 3A out of each term evenly. Okay, that's the greatest common factor. So after I'm done with that, I'll be left with A squared plus 10A plus 63 divided by 3 is 21, and the A divided by A is 1, so I'll do not have to write it. Okay, so to factor this inner trinomial, okay, I need to find 2 numbers that multiply together to give me 21 and add together to give me 10. Okay, they'll start with the A's. 2 numbers that multiply together to give me 21, a positive 7 and a positive 3, and those numbers also add together to give me 10. Okay, and now it's completely factored. All right, I'm gonna let you guys do number 27. Okay, 28, this one's looking a little tricky. I see X's and Y's. I do notice that they all have a Y. I can also factor out a 5 of all those coefficients. So I'll factor out a 5Y from all of those. Okay, so factoring out that 5Y, what will I have left? I'll have an X squared minus 3X minus, well, 140 divided by 5 gives me 70. Okay. All right. Now, oh, not 70. That's 140 divided by 2. I apologize. It's going to give me 35. Is that right? Okay, so here on 28, I'm going to divide a 5 evenly into all of these. And then also, I think I can pull out a y from all of them. Okay, so I'm going to pull that 5y out. I'm going to divide it out of each term. So I'm left with an x squared minus 3x minus 118. Okay, so to factor the remaining trinomial, since it has a leading coefficient of 1, I'll be able to use a shortcut method. I'll both start with an x. Now I need 2 numbers that multiply together to give me negative 18 and add together to give me negative 3. So I think a negative 6 and a positive 3 will work out. Okay, so the more you do these, the less you'll have to write out a whole entire list. You'll just kind of be able to run through it with your head. But if you do need to take a moment to write them down, that's fine too. Knowing your multiplication facts will really help. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, just let me know.